Hey y'all, it's Bay Sims and welcome to my very first YouTube video. Today I'm going to be walking you guys through the Notion tracker that I use to keep my save file insanely organized. I would definitely classify myself as a type A simmer. I like to have lots of information and detail and data about my save file. I like to overplan and overfixate on things. So this Notion tracker is genuinely my best friend when it comes to playing The Sims and making a cohesive save file and storyline. Lately, I have been seeing so many simmers starting to use Notion to track their save files, and I absolutely love it. I have been a Notion girly since like 2019, and I have been using it specifically for my save file since about 2021. It did not always look like this. It has evolved over the years to complement my game style and my needs at the time. But I am very happy with it and I want to share it with you guys. Fun fact, I was actually asked by a few other simmers to record this last year, and I did, but I ain't gonna lie, I hated how it came out and I scrapped the whole thing. So here I am again, better late than ever, giving y'all my Notion tour and maybe a little template for you to use for your own save files. But I won't hold y'all any longer. Let's go ahead and get into this tour. First up at the top, I have these headline categories. I have my mod tracker here. And very self-explanatory, this is where I keep track of all of the mods that are currently in my game. I like to keep a note of whatever the current patch is that my game is updated to. So as of today, my game is updated to the September 4th patch. And then I literally have all of the mods that I have in my game listed here. I have a ton. And I like to keep track, obviously, the mod name, the creator, when I last updated it, what the current version of the mod is that's in my game. So these two categories are different. This is when I last updated it. This is the actual version that's in the game, or in some cases, when the creator last updated it, to my knowledge. I also like to keep track of whether I know for a fact the mod actually is currently working. So I have a few options here. Yes, think so, unsure, not tracking, broken, obsolete. And then I also have a filter to help me keep track of whether it's actually in my game or not, because sometimes I will remove a mod from my game, but I won't remove it from this tracker. So I can just keep track of whether it's in game and not in game. And right now I actually have it filtered to only show me the mods that are in my game. I also just have some notes here. I usually just pull these directly from the mod description of, things that I don't want to forget, or if the mod requires another mod to work, I always know that I need to go and update that mod as well. I have another view here. This is just a by creator view, because sometimes I just want to see all the mods that I have by a certain creator. Right now I have it filtered to show me lot 51s. I think I was doing something. But you can see I have all of the creators here, and I can just load more and it'll show me all the creators that I have in my game. Next up, I have my pose tracker. And this is currently under construction because I am redoing and renaming all of my poses in my game. So it's a very long process, but basically I am going through every pose that I have downloaded in my game and I am renaming them through the Sims 4 Studio. It will help me better find them when I'm looking for them. If you're a big pose user, you know the headache that it can be trying to find a pose, but it's under some random name, or you can't remember the creator, or you just in general forget about it. So I am renaming things and redescribing things in a way that works better for my brain. And thus, I am having to completely redo this pose master list. So you'll see here at the top, you have some that I've already like renamed and stuff in game. But then you'll see some where it's not in that same naming convention, and that's just because I haven't gotten to those yet. And what I mean by making poses easier to find is that I have the pose search bar mod by Twisted Mexi installed in my game, and it just makes it so much easier to type in the type of pose that I'm looking for and find it. Here is what the other view looks like if I were to switch to the gallery mode so you can kind of see. Right now I have it filtered to show me like pregnancy poses because I was taking some maternity photos for my sim. But here is a little look at how the pages look. I have obviously the name, the creator, a little description, the category, the original pose title, and then some tags. And this just helps me when I am in game and I need to find a pose so that I can take pictures of my Sims. I can come here, I can filter or search by the tags that I want to see, and all of the poses that I have in that category will come up. Like I said, this right here looks very short because I am currently redoing this, but I do have a ton of poses in my game, guys. So I'm not short on poses, trust me. This section is just really helpful for me when I am, let's say, planning some type of photo shoot or event in my game, and there are a few different poses that I am planning to use, and I want to make sure that I keep all of them top of mind. Basically, what I would do is check mark a few of those poses, and then in this gallery section, instead of filtering by category here, I'm gonna go ahead and unfilter those. I can go to filter by top of mind, checked, and then all of the ones that I checked will pop up. The next section is my MCC settings, and this is just where I keep track of my MCC settings. I also have my preteen settings there. And this is just in case my settings ever get reset when I'm updating MCC. That doesn't typically happen because I'm very good at keeping that log file in my mods folder, but just in case it ever gets deleted or reset, I can always just go back to this page and re-enter my MCC settings to be the way that I like them to be. And then this last headline section is just my pack overview, and this is just me keeping track of all the packs that I currently have in my game. No, I do not have all of the packs, but I have a lot of them. I do plan to get all of the packs that at least come with a new world. I just haven't gotten around to all of them yet, but that is a goal of mine because I want all of the worlds, except for Batu. I like to keep track of the pack abbreviation codes as well in case I am downloading a mod that has pack-specific files. I know that I can delete the ones that I don't own. Now, getting into the meat of the tracker. First up, I just have this map of Simmisota, which is what my save file is called. Let me know if you guys would be interested in me doing any videos that go more in detail about Simmisota and just how I do things within my save file. But basically, I imagine it to be a state similar to California on the west coast of Sim Nation. And this is just a map that I threw together. I am not an artist. Baby, I am not an artist. Please do not laugh at my map. It helps me. That's all you need to know. It helps me. But this is my little map that I threw together for it. I try to update it every time a new world is introduced. Right now, I think it is only updated up until the Life and Death pack. So I definitely have some updates that I need to do, but I ain't gonna lie, like I said, I'm not an artist, so this takes me a minute. This be taking me a minute to figure out. But I need to go in there and do some updates. But this is how it currently looks. I have it color coded by what I imagine to be the county or district. I can go more into detail about Simmisota and just how I wrap my brain around all of this stuff in another video. But just know I like to have my map here front and center so that when I'm playing, I have something to easily reference. And then I just have this little description here. Next up, you see on the side, I have this little directory of pages. We're going to come back to that. I just want to scroll down and show you the rest of what is on this home page. So next you'll see I have this little section for recent memories or photos that have happened within my save file. So this page is actually pulling from my visual timeline page, which I'll show you in a sec, but basically it's just a photo album essentially of my game. I will show you a bit of what it looks like. So I like to have the title here. I always put the names of the people in caps just so that, I don't know, it stands out. Then I note when, as in what year this takes place. Fun fact, I have my own naming convention when it comes to the years within my save file. I always do Y and then whatever year it is. I'm currently in year 8 of my save file, meaning I've been playing within this save file for 8 sim years, not 8 actual years, though it feels like that because it has been quite some time. And so I just like to keep track of that. I like to tag who is in the photos or who was there that day if it was like an event or something. I like to tag what. So in this case, this what is a photo shoot, but I have like, this is just day in the life photos. This is photos from a vacation, photos from a wedding, photos from a holiday. You know, I just like to keep track of what type of photos or memory this is. And then I also like to tag where. So these photos were taken in Tortosa. And yeah, these were just my Sims maternity photos. And I just put a few of them. I don't put all of the photos I take, you can, but I just like to put a few of my faves in here just so that I can always remember them, refer back to them, and then you'll see that these photos are also tagged in a few other places. And so scrolling down, I have a list of all of my Sims within Simmisota. Not all of them have pictures. Like I said, it's a work in progress. Y'all know how hard it is. Y'all know how hard it is to make a save file and keep everything organized. But yeah, these are just some NPCs that I still need to put photos in of. But yeah, I try to keep this like as updated as possible. Like whenever I am making a sim or giving a sim a makeover or whatever, I try to make sure they're added. So you can load more and you'll see just some more of the simmies that are in my game. And this is just the main view, but I also have this more like detailed view if you want to get like real into it. I never really look at that view. Instead, if I want to see details on someone, I just go to their profile. So let's check out Naomi's profile. Naomi is one of my main Sims. She's whose maternity photos we just looked at. And I am going to open this full screen so that we can take a look. So first up, before we scroll through the page, let's look at a few of her details. This is like all the stuff that I try to track For my Sims, it's a lot, but like I said, I love the data, I love the details, it works for my brain, and it just helps me so much when I am in game and I am trying to search for someone, trying to keep track of what two Sims relationship is to one another and so forth. So I like to keep track of the actual household name of the Sims, the type of Sim they are. So she is a played Sim. My other categories, I have Townie, I have unplayed significant, meaning I don't play this Sim, but maybe they are a family member to my one of my main Sims, and thus they are significant to me in some way. And then I have NPC. Then I have the city that they live within, and I try to again color code the cities based off of the county or district that I imagine them to live in. Their current age, there's all the categories, their gender, their career industry. So Naomi's in the social media industry. I do have lots more. And then their actual career title. The career title does not always match what the actual in-game career title is. In most cases, it doesn't, because I like to play very realistically, and the Sim career names are not realistic in most cases. I like to note the Sim's race, their relationship status, and then I also like to tag their partner. So if I were to click this, it would take me to her husband Dion's page. I like to keep track of any children that they have. Currently, this is empty for Naomi, but she is pregnant. So I'm really excited for her to have her babies. I tag their parents here. Same deal, if I click either of these names, it will take me to their profiles. And then I like to tag their affiliations. And this is one of my favorite parts of my Notion tracker. So as you guys know, there are clubs and groups within the game, but they're really limited. I think you can only have your Sim be in like 3 clubs at a time. I did at one point have a mod where your Sim could be in like way more groups, but the mod was conflicting with another mod that I liked more, and thus I got rid of that mod. But having this in my Notion tracker is so helpful, because it allows me to basically put my Sims in as many groups or clubs as I want them to be in, and be able to easily find other Sims that are within that other group without limitations of, oh, you can only have 7 Sims or 10 Sims in this group, or so forth. The limitations that the game gives you, it's just kind of a free for all within Notion. I'll quickly show you some of the other categories that I have in here. I like to keep track a lot of the schools that the kids are in, or that people may have graduated from. Oh, this should also be for Naomi because she works there, the Curve Agency. Again, the schools is a really big one for me because, like I said, I separate my Sim worlds by city and county. Y'all know sometimes when your Sims come home from school, they'll bring a friend, and sometimes that friend is from another world that, like, realistically wouldn't even be anywhere near where your Sim actually lives. And so I like to use Notion in this affiliation section to keep track of the actual schools that my Sims go to, or if they're an alumni of that school. Thus, I can keep track of who their actual friend group might be. Again, I know it's a lot. It's very detailed. It's very type A. You don't have to be like me. This video is for the people who are like me or inspired to be like this, to be this detailed, but you don't have to do this. If this is too much for you, click off. Click off. Don't judge me. Just click off. Okay? So Naomi, she's a member of Alpha Soul Alpha Sorority. She went to Magnolia High School. She also went to the University of Brightchester, and she currently works at the Curve Agency. I will show you guys in just a second how it looks when you can filter. Next up, I have all of Naomi's siblings tags. Same deal. If I click this, it will take me to their profile. Then I have a section for pets. Naomi doesn't have any pets. And then I have their address, which this is actually wrong because Naomi just moved. She lives in Ciudad now. She just moved there, and so I haven't updated this address yet, but I will do that. And then I like to keep, their life status, whether they're living or dead. I like to keep track of the Sims social class, their aspiration, and their traits, of course. And then pet type doesn't apply to Naomi, but I also keep track of all of the pets in my game. If she were a pet, I would put what type of pet she was. Scrolling down, I like to have a photo of my Sim, and then a biography for them. Again, I like to tag names so that I can easily click and be taken to that person's profile. And I like to have a mood board, mainly just for my main Sims. I don't do this for all my Sims, but for my main Sims, I like to have a little mood board for them. So this is just a little bit of Naomi's mood board. I also like to keep track of some fun facts here. So again, she is the director of communications at the Curve Agency. She got pregnant through IVF. She currently has 519,000 followers. I tagged her besties here so I could just easily find them when I need to. And she's a member of the Year 2 line of the Alpha chapter of Alpha Soul Alpha Sorority at the University of Brightchester. Over here, I just have some more little details here. I don't fill this out for all of my Sims, but just for my main Sims. So I like to keep track of their current age. So as of year 7, Naomi was 24. We're in year 8 now, but her birthday has not passed yet, but she will be turning 25 this year. Her birthday and her zodiac sign, her nicknames, her ethnicity, her family trees. So all the family trees that you can find her in. Her aspiration says TBD here, but it's up there. I don't have this in my game anymore, so I can actually delete that. And then like any quirks that she has, her fame level, these are actually not updated. I need to update these. And then her social media handle for her Simstagram account. I like to keep track of that if I'm making like any edits to share on Tumblr or Twitter that shows like my Sims Simstagram, just so I can make sure their social media handles aren't like changing. Then I have a picture of the home here. Again, I need to update this. Oh, wow, I should have updated this before I started recording, but it's okay, y'all. We're going with the flow. This was her apartment from when she lived in San Myshuno. She does not live here anymore, so I'm gonna go ahead and delete that. And I will add a photo of her new home there in just a moment. And then I have some storyline ideas here. I won't go into all of that right now, but I just like to keep track of some storyline ideas. So lots of photos here. So first of all, I like to keep track of just some featured photos over here on the side. So these are just some of my favorite photos, I guess, of Naomi. These are from her wedding day. This is from when she graduated from college. But then I also have that same visual timeline from the homepage here as well, only it is filtered to only show me pictures that Naomi is tagged in. And it does this for all of my Sims, like even my townies. It's just a part of the template that I made, that anytime they get tagged in a photo, it auto populates onto their profile. So these are the recent memories that Naomi has been tagged in. And as you can see, this is their new home. Since I keep mentioning that they recently moved, this is their new home in Dad that I need to update everything for. But there it is. It's real cutesy. And then I can also go to all memories and it will show me all of the memories that Naomi has been tagged in chronologically. So you will see that I have been playing Naomi and I have been playing these Sims, this save file, for years. Look at the difference in the photo quality. I used to be very heavy Alpha CC. Now I'm kind of like a Maxis mixed girly. I don't know, I do it all. I also didn't used to use G-Shade. And so, yeah, you know, my pictures weren't as cutesy as they are now. But as you can see, Naomi has been a part of my life for a long time. Yeah, it just shows all the photos she's tagged in. I can load more, but first, over here on the side, I also just have a little snapshot of her Simstagram profile. This is my version of Simstagram. I know everyone has their own templates, but this is the one that I have personally been using for my Sims. And this is just kind of how I imagine Naomi's Simstagram to look. But yeah, if you load more, so these photos are all from year 1 and year 2. And you'll see we have some year 3s, some year 4s, year 5. Yeah, this is my girl. We've been through a lot. We've been through a lot together. But yeah, that is pretty much how all of my Sim profiles look. I'm showing you Naomi specifically because I feel like hers is one of the more fleshed out. Again, I don't go as hard for some of the Sims that aren't my main Sims. So if I were to go to one of my townies pages, it might be very, very bare. So this gives you kind of a good overview of what the profiles look like when they are completely filled out. Going back to the homepage, I want to show you quickly what I meant by being able to filter people by their affiliation. So as you can see, I already have some pre-built filters here, and one of them is affiliation. So if I wanted to see all of the girlies that were in Naomi's sorority, I could just check mark that. And it will show me everyone who is in her sorority. And also the way I have it set up is that it shows me all of the Sims who are a part of the sorority, not just the ones who necessarily went to school with Naomi. So like, for example, Angela Pizzazz is Penny Pizzazz's mom. Obviously, her and Naomi were not in school at the same time, but she is a member of Naomi's sorority from when she was in college. Now, let's say I want one of my Sims children to invite some friends over for a birthday party, and I want to see all of the Sims that they go to school with. I can simply go to Magnolia Elementary School, tag that, and it's going to show me, you know, all of the students that are tagged for Magnolia Elementary School. You can see I'm also very extra. I like to keep track of the grades that I imagine them to be in. So I know that if my Sim is in the 5th grade, she probably wouldn't be inviting someone who is in the 1st grade to her birthday party. Lastly, on this homepage, I have a section to keep track of all of my lots within my game. This has been super helpful as I'm building out my save file. I want to make it clear, I am not a builder. I'm a renovator. I am not a builder. Okay. The majority of the builds in my save file have been built by other people and either renovated by me or kept as is if I felt no changes were needed. This is where I keep track of all of the lots within my game. Right now, it's filtered to show me San Sequoia because I have been doing a lot of work in San Sequoia. And then here is just what it looks like when I click into a lot. So I like to keep track of the status. So whether I'm done with the lot, whether it's in progress, whether I haven't started working on it yet, or whether I've removed it from my game. the type of lot it is, so whether it's residential or community, and then the lot subtype. So this is a multi-family residential rental. I also have just a residential single family. I have residential rentals for single families as well, and then obviously all of the community options. I then keep track of the lot size. I keep track of whether it's a versatile lot, and y'all know we have a limited amount of space in our worlds. Sometimes I need to use a lot, like maybe I only have one 30 by 20 lot or one 64 by 64 lot within that world, but I want to use it for multiple lots. Sometimes I will just switch out the lot. So like, for example, I know I have one in San Myshuno where sometimes it's a spa and sometimes it's a gym. And yeah, I could find a lot that, has it all in there, but I like the lots that I have. And thus, when I want my Sims to go to the gym, I put the gym down. And when I want my Sims to go to the spa, I put the spa down. And I tag it as a versatile lot so I can keep track of which ones I have been switching around. Anyways, I keep track of the county, the city, and also the neighborhood that it's in. Also, I do rename some of my neighborhoods, some of my cities. So if you're seeing something and you're like, wait, that's not in the game, because I don't remember if Bayview District is a real. I don't remember if Bayview District is a real neighborhood or one I made up. But if you're ever seeing something, you're like, that's not what that's called, it's probably because I renamed it. Then I have whatever the lot traits or challenges are. And I do have this section for description, but I don't always write it in. I keep track of whether or not the lot is occupied and then who the residents are. Right now, it's not listed, but I'm pretty sure the Fangs, Lily and Victor, own this property, and I just haven't put them in my tracker yet. But yeah, here's just a picture of what it looks like. I'm pretty sure this lot was built by Farfalla Sims. Keep track of like the unit that people live in as well. Yeah, it says right there, the owner is the Fang family. As you can see in Unit 1, we have Callie Maloney. Unit 2, DeMarcus Boudreau. Unit 3 is Royce Lavelle. So now we can scroll back up to this directory and we're just gonna buzz through what some of these other pages are. First up, I have my to-do list. This is just me keeping track of everything that I need to be doing either within my game or for my game. So create Sims 4 Notion database overview video. Doing that right now. But as you can see, I do have these categories. Some of them are blanks. I don't have anything that I currently need to do in those. But as you can see, I need to brainstorm ideas for the new world Giddy Point. I'm creating some photos for my Sims dining room, recording this. Right now, as I said, I'm working on San Sequoia and I'm currently working on some renovations for a neighborhood there. Some families that I need to create. And if I click this, it will take me to this building the save file page, which I'll show you in a second. But it's basically where I brainstorm. Then some photos that I want to take. That is the to-do list. I have this archive for all of my past to-do lists there. And then visual timeline. So you guys have already seen a bit of the visual timeline, but this is how the full page looks. So I have them categorized by year. So obviously under year 8, it is only showing me things that have happened within year 8 of my save file. If I were to go to year 7, it will show me the same thing. I did a time skip around year 7, so that's why it is so bare. But yeah, if I were to go to year 1, it'll show me all the things that happened in year 1 of my save file. And then I also have BG and AG, which basically just means before game and after game. So before game is obviously like when I go in and I take like throwback photos for my Sims of things that happened maybe before I actually started playing them. And then AG is things that happened after I started playing in my game, but before I started tracking the years, if that makes sense. So I was playing very heavily with the Caliente family before I started playing with the Boudreaux. And I didn't really start tracking my years until I started playing with the Boudreaux. So the Boudreaux kind of are the start of year 1 for my save file, but I was playing for a little bit beforehand with Nina and Dina Caliente. So that is the visual timeline page, and then the building the save file page. So this is pretty much my brainstorm page of everything. I won't go into too much detail here because it's really just ideas. As you can see, I have this little tracker here where I can keep track of how many lots I have in a world and like how many homes I still need to fill. So for example, in San Sequoia, I have 20 residences total. That is including residential rentals, apartments, and all that stuff. I have 20 total. 7 of them are filled, and I have to fill 13 of them. Altogether, I have space for 12 lots. I have 10 lots placed, and I have 2 more lots that I need to place down. I'll go into more detail about the actual worlds themselves when I get to the worlds page, but this is just where I keep track, mainly for when I am brainstorming families or locations. I have this little note here to remind me of how many residential rentals I currently have in game and what the game cap is. So next up is the world overview, and this is just a big overview of Simmisota. So again, I have that map here, and then I have a list of all of the counties, and then within that, I have all of the cities and their neighborhoods. So like I said, I sometimes rename the neighborhoods, but right here, I think these are all the original neighborhood names. for Sansequoia. But I've renamed some of them. But this is just like when I am brainstorming and jotting down kind of how I view that world. I also like to keep track of like what my inspirations are for the world in terms of style and vibe. So again, if you want me to do a more like detailed overview of Simmisota and how I map things out, how I view the world, how I organize things, I can do like more details about like Simmisota specifically. But yeah, this is just kind of how I keep track of that. I also keep track of just like some lot ideas that I have, some name ideas for locations and stuff. Like some of it's a little bit of repetitive from the building the save file page, but you know, it's just whatever my brain needs at the time and whatever works. But as I start to work on the specific world and start to place down lots within those worlds, I like to make sure that they have an actual page here so that I can kind of keep track of things. And then you can see I actually have like real world images here. Some of them all have the same image just because I have not switched them out yet. This image is supposed to be for San Sequoia, so ignore the image for Ciudad and Solani, please. But yeah, I have some real world images here just to kind of like catch the vibe. But like, let me show you what one of the pages looks like. So like going to Windenburg, again, we have a real world image here that just kind of acts as our cover photo. Then I have a little description of the vibe of that world. And then I also break it down by neighborhood. I did rename all of the neighborhoods within Windenburg as well. So my neighborhoods are Windsor, the King's District, the Queen's District, and then the Island. And then I will show you how I actually plan the lots within my save file. I just kind of pull the map of the world and then in Canva just kind of start mapping out what I want each lot to be. And then you can see I also have the neighborhood names. So you can see over here is Windsor, and this is kind of what I have planned for Windsor. You know, I keep track of the size of the lot, what type of lot it's going to be, and then like what I actually want to be there. That's what that looks like. And then I also have like a little mood board here for the worlds as well. And I actually might change this view. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, and I just changed that view so that you guys can see it a little better. But yeah, this top section just basically helps us catch the vibe of each world. And then I actually have the list of the lots here. Clearly one of my favorite worlds. I have lots of lots here. I had so much fun working on this. I need an image for these townhomes. I know I have them. I just need to find it. Each page has the lots automatically filtered to only show the lots that are within that world. So this helps me get a better view of everything that is happening in Windenburg. And I also keep track of all of my Sims that are tagged for Windenburg as well. So you'll see here, again, like I said, not every page is filled out. Holly also is blank. But I do my best to make sure that I am filling out a page for all of my Sims. And yeah, all of the pages for the worlds pretty much look like this, so I won't go through all of them. Then if I go to this next page, this is world rules. This is just me keeping track of the rules that I have implemented within my save file. So calendar year, for example, I have 84 days in a year within my save file, 21 days per season. Pregnancies last 42 days, and that's 14 days a trimester. College lasts roughly 21 days, and so forth and so forth. I just try to keep track of things like that. Again, I know it's a lot for some people, but it works for me, and that's all that matters. I also keep track of like my age ranges and lifespans, and so forth. And also I mentioned the wealth classes. I keep track of the wealth classes here as well, so I know kind of where my Sims are landing when I'm making them. And then I also have a list of like real world career titles. I'm not gonna go into that page. Basically, like I said, the career titles that are within the Sims game are just like not realistic. So like instead of calling my Sim who's in the social media career, and instead of calling them an engagement monkey, I'm gonna just call them a social media assistant. Like, you know, just give it more realism there, you know? Next up, we have just this cheats and tips page, and this is just very self-explanatory. Me keeping track of cheats and tips that I don't want to forget. I always forget what the different family dynamics mean. Next up is my calendar. So this is just me keeping track of how my calendar currently is set out to be. Like I said, I have 21 days a season, 7 days a month, technically. Next, I just have this memory bank page. This is just me keeping, again, track of things that I don't want to forget. I keep track of like names, for example, that I have ideas for some Sim ideas. Like apparently I want to make a Sim based off of Logan from X-Men, and also want to remake the Pleasant Family. Next up, I have my rotational gameplay tracker, which I utilize every time I play. I know forever save files are like a big trendy thing right now. If you can't tell, it's pretty much always been my gameplay style. I primarily play in my Simmisota save file, and every sim that I make is within that save file. And thus I play my game rotationally, and this is how I keep track of that. So this page won't mean much to you at all right now, but let me go to this page here. This is the main page that I actually look at. I keep track of whatever the current day is within my game. I keep track of whether there are any holidays or events happening on that day. Keep track of whatever household I am planning to play. So you can see some of these are empty because I haven't planned to play anyone yet for these days. But I know, for example, when it gets to Saturday in my game, I plan to play Naomi and Dion and have their baby shower happen. And then here I would also like recap what happened on that day. Here's for like any notes that have happened, and then I keep track of whether or not the day has occurred. So as you can see, none of these have occurred, but the ones that have occurred, I would find those in recent. And this is what you can see when that's like all filled out. So the day, when it happened, what holiday or event was happening that day, who I played, and then what the plans were, the notes, and then the recap of the day. Again, it's a lot. I know it's a lot for some of y'all, but I like to keep track of everything that has happened within my game so that I know what's happening within that current storyline. So yeah, that is how I keep track of my rotational gameplay. Next, I'm not going to open this page, but this is just basically another dashboard where I'm keeping track of my only other save file, which is my BitLife Challenge save file. I'm not going to go into that, but just know I have one other save file that I play occasionally, and it's my BitLife Challenge save. Then this one is just where I keep track of CC to download. I'm also not going to go into this one because I don't even think it's up to date. I'm probably going to delete this page because I mainly keep track of the CC I want to download on Pinterest and Tumblr. But at one point, I would just like link things here so that I could remember to go back to them later. And that is pretty much the entire tracker, you guys. Oh my gosh, I feel like I have been talking forever. It's probably not going to feel that long to you guys because I'm going to obviously edit this down. But yeah, that is my tracker. This is my baby. I literally have this tracker open every time I turn on my game. And it just makes playing not only easier for me, but also more fun for me and my type A brain. And there you have it, folks. That is my Sims 4 Notion tracker. Like I said, I know a lot of people are starting to use Notion to track their Sims. So I really hope you guys found this helpful or educational or inspirational. So if you've been watching this tour and thinking the whole time, okay, that's cool and all, but where do I get one? I have created a shareable version of this tracker for you all. It has pretty much all of the same pages as my tracker, but I have cleaned some things up, streamlined some things, and obviously taken all of my information out. Notion is 100% free to use with some limitations, but you should not run into those limitations utilizing my tracker. Just quickly running through the tracker, you'll have the mod tracker as well. When you download the tracker, the only mod that will be in here is MC Command Center. Obviously, update this to actually match the mods that are in your game and when you've last updated them and so forth. You'll also have a pose tracker. Again, I have deleted all of the poses, but I've left this page for you to reference once you start inputting your own poses. Under MCC settings, I have left my settings here for you just for you to reference or use if you'd like to, but feel free to delete this or update the settings to match how you prefer to run your game. And then obviously the pack overview, I have uncheckmarked everything so it is free for you to go in. You can replace this image with your own preferred image, whether it's a map as well or another photo that you prefer to look at, as well as inserting your own save file description. And then you'll see that I have deleted all of my Sims and lots and photos, but I did go ahead and input Bella and Mortimer here just so you guys have something to quickly reference once you start adding in your own Sims. I didn't feel like adding Cassandra and Alexander, I'm going to be honest, guys. I've also gone in and made sure that all of the game worlds are listed here with their correct names. And yes, I even included Batu. All of the career industries are here for you. All of the aspirations. All of the traits. Obviously, if you have any custom aspirations, traits, careers, anything of that nature, you will have to add those in yourself. But I tried to make this template as applicable to everyone as I could by making sure that everything you get if you own all of the packs are at least here. You'll have the space to input your own world rules. You'll also have a space to keep track of all of the lots within your save file. I went in and made sure that, again, all of the worlds were listed here. And I inputted the number of lots that you find in each world. So as you start to place down lots, let's say you place down 3 lots in Brindleton Bay, this number will update to show you how many lots you have left to place. And if you scroll down, you'll also see the sum of however many this category is. So the total number of lots within your save file, if you have all of the worlds, is 345. If you started to place down some lots, you would start to see the sum of how many lots you have placed down in your game and the sum of how many lots you have left to place down. Now you'll see I've left residences completely empty because this is truly going to vary from person to person. It depends on how many residential lots you have and how many residential rentals you have. You'll have this to-do list section. I have left some of my pre-made categories here, but you can feel free to edit or delete these as you so wish. Your memory bank to keep track of any name ideas or sim ideas that you might have. A place to keep track of all cheats and tips that you want to remember. A place to keep track of CC or mods that you want to download. I just preloaded some links to some of my recolors here, but you can totally delete these and update them with the list of CC or mods that you're actually aiming to download. I have the rotational gameplay tracker here for you. It is still populated with my date naming convention and my holidays and events. But again, feel free to change and edit those as you so wish. The two most important things for you to remember are first, once a date has occurred, go ahead and check mark the occurred button. That day will disappear from the current view. You'll still see it obviously in the all view, and you'll also see it in the recent view. The second thing that's going to be really important for you to remember is this sorting order section here. This is what helps keep the calendar in order. Let's say you're in year 1, but you want to start filling in some dates for year 2. What you would do is you could copy these dates and then start changing them out to say year 2, but also update the sorting order. So if this last day was 98, then you want to change that first day of the new year to 99. And then those dates will be listed down here accordingly. You can update to take these ones out. It just does that because they're duplicates. And there you have it. You can start planning for the next year. You'll also have a place to keep track of your calendar. Right now, I have my calendar preloaded to give you guys inspiration, or just to reference. You can totally use my calendar or delete this or edit it however best suits your game. You'll also get a visual timeline of your own. If you want to use your own year naming convention, or if you want to continue to use mine, all you have to do to add a new year is literally just type it in. And if you guys are wondering how you can change the color, there you go. And as you can see, since I changed it to year 2, it's disappeared from my year 1 view. Now I could just change this filter, but I don't want to lose my year 1 section. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to duplicate this, change this to year 2, and then I'm going to change the filter to show me year 2. And there we go. So that's how you guys can keep this going. Just make sure as you're adding new toggles, you're not deleting this first database here in year 1, or it will delete all of the other ones. And last but not least, you'll of course get your own world overview section where you can replace this image with your own map or your own preferred image from your save file. And you can also go ahead and start listing out descriptions for each of the worlds, as well as any inspirations that you have for the worlds, any additional lot ideas you have, or any location name info that you just want to jot down. I've also made sure that all of the worlds are listed here. You'll see that they're all empty and ready for you to jot in your own information. Of course, I did pre-fill Willow Creek a little bit with just the standard game information and an inspiration picture of New Orleans. And it's already pre-filtered to show you all the lots and the sims within those worlds. As you start adding your sims and your lots, these pages will auto-populate without you having to do anything. So for example, if I were to move Bella from Willow Creek to Glimmerbrook and then go to the Glimmerbrook page, Bella Goth would now be listed as a Glimmerbrook sim. If you are interested in grabbing this template for yourselves, go ahead and click the link in the description. So no one's caught off guard, I do want to note that it is not free, but it is listed very affordably so that almost anyone should be able to utilize this tracker if they so wish. That's also why it was really important for me to not list this on Patreon, because it was really important to me that no one felt like they were being forced into any type of a monthly subscription. It's literally just a one-time flat fee of $3. Hopefully you can just consider it as a thank you to me for all of the work that I did putting this tracker together over the years, but also putting together the shareable version of the tracker together for you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video, you guys. As I said in the beginning, this is my very first YouTube video, and if you're interested in seeing more from me, learning more about my save file, or learning more about how I use Notion, let me know, and maybe I'll drop some more content for you guys. But with that being said, have a great day, everyone, and thank you so much.